Hi everybody, John Fellenstein here, Professor Polymer from the Akron Global Polymer Academy, the University of Akron. And today we are going to talk about electromagnetic radiation. Electromagnetic radiation is the sum of all of the energy that arrives from the sun. We know most of it as visible light, as well as ultraviolet, and some other forms as well. Here's a diagram of all the forms of electromagnetic radiation that are produced by stars. As humans, we can only see a tiny portion of that, the visible light spectrum, but there is a very wide range of other wavelengths as well as energies. Okay, so the lower the wavelength, the longer the wavelength, the lower the energy. And as we increase from lower energy to higher energy, the wavelength gets shorter and shorter and shorter. There are some other parts of the spectrum that you probably recognize as well. For example, infrared radiation, ultraviolet radiation, and X-rays. If you've ever gone to the doctor with a broken bone and had to have a bone set, most likely they took an X-ray of you as well. Ultraviolet light or radiation is one of the forms of energy given off by the sun. And we have a way to detect this ultraviolet radiation with some really neat little things called UV detecting beads. Now let me show those to you. These are ultraviolet detecting beads. They look like they're white inside, but they're treated with a chemical that is sensitive to ultraviolet radiation, and they turn a different color when they're exposed. This is an ultraviolet flashlight, and when I shine that light on these beads, it's going to change their color. It works a lot better outside, however, so we're going to take these outside and allow you to see what happens when we do that. This is what they look like after you take them into the sun. So they change colors. It's a good way to detect ultraviolet radiation. These two plastic discs may look alike, but they are very different in their composition. One of them is an ultraviolet filter or a UV filter, and it's very good at blocking ultraviolet light. This yellow card was printed with ultraviolet sensitive ink on it. And when I shine my ultraviolet light on it, you might be able to see the words printed there. They say UV light is present. One of these plastic discs will block that UV light, and one will allow it to pass through. Do you see the difference? Even an inexpensive pair of sunglasses is very good at blocking ultraviolet radiation. These sunglasses were given away at an event from the University of Akron, and they work just fine to block the UV radiation. Exposure to ultraviolet radiation has also been responsible for cataracts and damage to your eyes, so please make sure that you take care of your eyes. Humans can see things that are within the visible light spectrum between about 400 and 700 nanometers. Okay, however, some insects can see in ranges beyond what humans can see. For example, honeybees can see in the range that's very close to the near infrared. So they can see in an area that we cannot see, all right? And because of this, flowers that are photographed in ultraviolet light look a little bit different. For example, this flower, this is how we would see it, and this is how a honeybee would see it. Here are some more examples. Under normal light and ultraviolet light, normal light, like we see it, ultraviolet light, like a honeybee sees it. Once again, a human's point of view with their vision, a honeybee's vision. So flowers are made they look a lot different under ultraviolet light, and that's good because bees can see that and zero in on the nectar source. Well, that wraps things up for today. I hope you enjoy the daily demo on ultraviolet light and ultraviolet detecting beads. Remember, as the weather gets warmer and you spend more time outside, it's important to protect yourself from the ultraviolet radiation coming from the sun. Have a great day and stay safe.